person, though it's not known how many jobs are being eliminated nor what sorts of jobs are on the chopping block. The workforce reduction is part of a broader goal for CEO Artie Starrs to reduce Harley's operating expenses by at least $150 million.
Our current corporate overhead, manufacturing capacity, and overall operating expenses are built for materially higher volumes than today's demand.
Starrs has indicated more details on how Harley plans to achieve those goals will be unveiled in May. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
A proposal that would allow the city of Milwaukee to use traffic safety cameras to help curb reckless driving has stalled in Madison. The Safe Roads, Save Lives Act would place cameras at intersections with high crash rates and allow for automatic citations. Democratic State Senator Dora Drake says it would be an additional tool for Milwaukee police.
Traffic safety cameras are a proven, evidence-based solution. In hundreds of other communities, cameras have reduced crashes, injuries, and fatalities.
The bill has bipartisan support and received a public hearing last year, but it still needs committee approval. NASA saying it will invest about $20 billion to build a permanent moon base over the next 7 years. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman says robotic exploration will ramp up sharply with about 30 lunar landings beginning in 2027.
As we move forward, we intend to launch Artemis 3 in 2027 to test the integrated operations of Orion and one or both lunar landers in Earth orbit. What we learn from that mission will ideally give us the confidence to begin lunar landing attempts starting with Artemis 4 in 2028.
NASA is pausing plans for the Gateway Lunar Space Station, instead shifting resources to the moon base. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up about 81 points currently, sitting at 46,290. The NASDAQ in the red, off about 0.5% at 21,840. And the S&P 500 down slightly, about 7 points at 6,573. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as third generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination, with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhardt, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now, when you buy from Burkhardt, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhardt, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhardt.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Countdown is on, now just 2 days away from opening day. The Brewers' one final tune-up. That will happen today against the Cincinnati Reds. A 4:10 first pitch. That game is over at American Family Field. And then Thursday, opening up the season against the White Sox at home. Of course, we'll have full coverage for you of opening day right here on WTMJ. Shorthanded Milwaukee Bucks losing on the road to the LA Clippers 129-96. Bucks dropping 10 of their last 14 games, including 3 of 4 since sitting Giannis Antetokounmpo because of a left knee injury. Head coach Doc Rivers.
Defensively, we had a rough night tonight. Offensively, as rough. It is what it is.
Bucks will continue their road trip. They'll be in Portland tomorrow night. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. We're seeing a couple of typical slowdowns, 94 east and westbound right near the stadium there in our construction zone. Otherwise, no other major incidents. Rest of the system, full freeway speeds. And your forecast, partly cloudy today. We'll see a high up around 50 degrees. Tonight, mostly cloudy, a low down to 35. Partly cloudy, and we continue to warm up. Tomorrow, we'll see highs in the low 60s. Thursday, mostly cloudy. We could maybe see some showers late in the day. Again, highs Thursday in the low to mid 60s. And then Friday, mostly sunny, but then we cool down. Friday's high just 38. Right now, it is 38 degrees in Madison, sitting at 37 in Waukesha, and it's 37 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
And good morning, everybody. What day is it? Tuesday. Tuesday in the week.
Day Eve.
Yes, thank you for that. For that nod to what I consider one of the high points of the week, and it literally is the high point because it's where you get the hump.
I think the high point's going to be opening day.
That's going to be a big one. God, my volume is just off the blowing my eardrums out. Yes, opening day is going to be fun. Thursday, you and I, Kristen Bry.
Rhymes.
If I was a rapper, I'd have like 6 more of those, but I'm not. And I don't play a rapper on radio. So we're going to be at American Family Feud. Our show starts at 10. You and I and Greg Matzik, sort of a trio, a trifecta of Brewers fun and excitement, opening day, enthusiasm.
He'll be out doing stuff, though. He won't be in
Greg's our guy.
The mobile studio with
He's
us.
going to be our interview chaser, for lack of a better term. He's going to be in the dugout. He's going to be in the stadium. We're going to be outside.
He doesn't really chase, though. Who doesn't want to talk to Greg Matzik?
Yeah, he's a hot commodity.
Mm-hmm.
All the ladies out there going, yeah, I agree. He's a hot commodity. Yes, he is. Anyway.
That gives you a slight insight into what kind of mood Steve's in today.
I said we should go all humor on the show today, and you shot it down.
I didn't shoot it down. You wanted to do one specific story.
Yeah.
That I think the morning news covered.
I have to vet it first before I go down that road.
As far as a quadriplegic's murdering someone else. And I was like, we're not making fun of him. Someone's dead.
I wasn't making fun. It's just it's a fascinating story. But I need to consult some legal people before I start going down that road. But it is an amazing story. Cornhole player, league player.
Does he throw it with his mouth?
No, it's, not to get too far down the road, but he has
prosthetics.
No, just there's some upper arm, and that's sort of how it works. But anyway, shot and killed somebody in his Tesla.
He drives a Tesla?
Well, Teslas drive themselves.
There's a lot of layers of this story.
See, that's why I didn't want to go too far down the road. Anyway.
Okay.
Let me ask you this as a personal question. How have you voted in, let's say, the last couple of big elections?
I typically vote now. Since moving to our house now, I typically vote in person on Election Day, and I try to take Frankie. Prior to that, I've done both. I've mailed it in, but now because it's just like 2 blocks from our house.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to vote in person. The line's never very long.
So I've done it. I used to be, I'm voting on Election Day, and then I realized how easy, vote by mail is. So you just request a ballot. I get it every time, fill it out, mailed it whenever I got it, the day after I got it. It's pretty easy, pretty simple ballot this year. So a lot of people, and you dropped a number on me, a stat before the show.
In 2024, 1 in 3 voters voted by mail. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, because I would have guessed 1 in 10.
Well, there's certain states that only vote by mail.
Yes. And off the top of my head,
I think it's Washington and Oregon.
I was going to say, Washington, Northwest, which seems to work just fine for those folks. And I'm a strong...
Also not swing states.
Yeah. I'm
Probably
a strong,
important.
Yes, very important. I'm a strong advocate for as many voting options as possible. Why do I say that, Steve? Because we know that the conspiracy theorists, the fake conservatives, think that anything beyond showing up on election day and voting in person is fake, and it just is ripe for all kinds of errors and miscounts and overvoting, all things that don't happen because basically, except for very rare circumstances, it's one person, one vote, because the clerks across this great country of ours actually do the validation. This is who lives here. This is who votes. Cross-check. Boom, done. But the Supreme Court, because all of these things are being challenged, there's a bigger story. We'll get to the president in a second, how he's sort of transformed this conversation. But one more thing about how we vote. The president has been very critical of mail-in voting. The sort of the fun fact in this situation is that's how he votes. So he
voted recently. There's a special election in Florida.
Yes, there is. So one might say that's hypocritical, sort of not living by your own mantra of how you want people to fairly vote if you're doing it the other way. So just on its face, how would you trust someone that was hypocritical on that very issue because they're voting by mail, but they say they don't like it? Anyway, Supreme Court is hearing sort of a limit on mail-in ballots. What does that mean? Well, in 30-plus states, what was the number? It was a big number. I think it's 30 states. You can mail it in, and if it's received within, I think, 5 days, it differs by some states, but around 5 days after, it's still counted.
As long as it's postmarked by Election Day.
And I just saw a notice from I think it was USPS sent it out over the weekend, because I get notices because I'm part of their online digital world where I can hold my mail and do all that stuff online. They suggest that you make sure that you actually get a real postmark inside the post office. Don't put it in a box and assume that it's going to be postmarked, because it might not be, because staffing has changed at U.S. postal offices. So that's changed. The president has said he doesn't like this. Now, the Supreme Court's hearing arguments about this, that basically it continues sort of this movement away from the freedom to vote the way you want to vote. Again, per state, different all over the place, because states conduct elections. The federal government doesn't. There are federal rules about elections, but for the most part, states conduct these. And the Supreme Court is hearing arguments about whether we should allow that post-election day counting of votes postmarked before. Where do you stand on this? I believe there's a number that could be.
It'd be great is then if there was more, there was more ballot boxes, and so if you didn't have to rely on USPS getting your ballot to the polling place in time for election, if you could just drop it off at places where they're picking them up. But we know how a lot of people feel about ballot boxes. The constitutional argument aside, I totally understand. I am sympathetic to the idea of when is the election finally over? Because
there has to be a limit.
Right. And so of what I do think is playing into this is the fact that as soon as polls close, and because this is it is high stakes, so it does deserve a lot of attention, but the media aspect of this, right? For those of us who are interested, we sit and watch tallies start to come in, and 6% of the vote, 15% of the vote, 12% of the vote, whatever it is, it climbs up and up and up. And then you have media outlets calling elections before all of the votes are counted, just because mathematically it's impossible for the other person to come. And so in those moments where we were we don't know when the election is going to be over because all of the votes are counted, I get, and I'm sympathetic to the idea that it shouldn't take this long and that people are anxious to get the results. And so maybe if we didn't have a media frenzy around the counting of the ballots as soon as polls close, we wouldn't feel as much anxiety around how long it's taking.
I would argue that's a byproduct of this sort of world we live in now, where it's immediate gratification required. Got to have it right away. Got to have the results. Got to see this right away. Got to watch this right away. Got to read this. Whatever it is, got to have it right away. In your hand, in your face. Got to know. And that's sort of led to this problem, especially when, in the new political reality, not everywhere, but in some states like this state, very close elections. We know our presidential election in Wisconsin, very close, 20,000 votes, 10,000 votes. That causes some consternation when you're talking about circumstances like this. I believe that if it's postmarked, a state should be able to, based on their situation, determine what's a reasonable amount of time. That's how I think the Supreme Court should rule. Do I think they're going to rule that way? No.
Doesn't sound like it.
I think they're going to.
From the hearing yesterday.
This may be, and this is going to impact November midterms, this decision, because it will come out before that. These types of decisions that are starting to pull back common accepted ways to vote, procedures and policies of states, how they conduct their elections, is all part of a bigger story. And the bigger story is what the president of the United States thinks about this.
Well, we should go to break.
Yes.
Because I have less of an issue with cutting off the deadline that mail-in votes have to arrive. This bothers me way less than some of the things in the SAVE Act, which totally limits mail-in voting in its entirety and makes you required to show proof of citizenship.
Yeah, so we'll dig into all of the high-level conversation around how all that works and how the SAVE Act, or I think the president calls it Save America Act now in his own universe or world, how that impacts everything about the November election, which is the one that he's looking at when it comes to all these things. We'll discuss. Boy, we went long in that first segment. It was good, juicy content.
You had too much to talk about with a quadriplegic.
That's true.
Wait
till I
talk
to some
time.
legal advisors on it. We got a break.
Hey, Easter's almost here. WTMJ's John Mercure. I highly recommend the Easter Sunday brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. It's one of the truly special family dining events of the year. Do it at a very special place. My favorite place, the Fox and Hounds. The food is world class. Everything you love for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including prime rib and an entire room of homemade desserts. It's all you care to eat, and kids and grandkids under 3, they eat for free. Sip on a delicious old-fashioned bourbon or over 100 fine wines as you dine in one of the Fox and Hounds' 8 elegant dining rooms, maybe a mimosa. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine Forest, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The spring drive is spectacular. So do not cook, do not clean on Easter Sunday. Relax and enjoy your family and grandkids. The Fox and Hounds friendly staff will serve you. Call and reserve today as tables fill quickly. You'll love the Easter Sunday brunch, the Fox and Hounds.
When you think about your financial future, it helps to have fee-only fiduciary guidance that puts your interests first. At Annex Wealth Management, you receive comprehensive planning from a team that includes wealth managers, financial planners, and investment specialists working together to support your financial life. Annex's advice is designed to stay aligned with your goals without commissions influencing recommendations. Annex Wealth Management. Know the difference. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Do you hear that? That means that baseball is almost here. We're counting down to opening day as the Brewers open the season against the White Sox on Thursday, March 26th. This opening day series is sponsored by Matrix Basement Finishing. Mention opening day and save an additional 10%. Visit matrixbasements.com. Catch Brewers baseball on WTMJ all season long. We are the flagship station for Brewers baseball. WTMJ.
All right, if you haven't signed up for the newsletter, please do it because you have a chance to win a 4-pack of really good Brewers tickets right behind home plate, Section 117 for April 14th game against the American League champion Toronto Blue Jays. Just all you have to do is subscribe. There's like 4 or 5 questions, and you get our weekly newsletter, which comes out every Sunday morning, which is a great reading. We're in the process of adding more original content. So for those folks who read it and said, "Oh, I'd love to see something that maybe everyone else doesn't get their eyes on right away," we're going to try to do some of that as well. And thank you, emailers and texters.
I was going to say, feel free to suggest to us
what you want to see.
You would like to see in that email. It's a lot less restricted than our airtime that we have to have certain breaks and commercials and time bound. We can do whatever we want in that email.
We have a caller.
Curse.
Yeah, we can. Even our podcast. We have a caller. Chris from Greenfield wants to weigh in on our conversation. Hi, Chris.
Hello. Good morning. Yes, I work in the polls on the elections. I've been working for 8 years in different positions. Now I'm a chief inspector. And I just wanted to let you know that as far as the timing, yes, everybody waits for Tuesday night and Wednesday to get the final tallies. However, there's a provisional votes that if somebody doesn't bring a picture ID on the day of the elections, they can do a provisional vote, and that's held until Friday. Any military things, ballots that come in until Friday. and then that's all passed along. After the elections on Tuesday night, the key fobs that are in each of the machines is uploaded to the county of Milwaukee. I believe it's the county or the city. I'm not positive. I think the county.
County.
But so then that count gets counted. But again, because of the provisional and the military that comes in the mail, they have until Friday.
Yeah,
in
Wisconsin.
Morning,
in Wisconsin, yes.
Well, I will say not only I don't know about Wisconsin. I know about Greenfield.
Okay,
And
yeah, your
so
community, yes.
With that said, on Monday, our deputy clerk, she takes all of the information and tallies it. It's called canvassing, and she makes sure that everything is accurate and follows up with the city or the county and makes sure that they get all those numbers. So it may change, but the volume is very little compared to what the discrepancy is between the candidates.
Yeah.
So it might change a little bit, but at least it's people getting their voice into their ballot and having that accepted.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Chris. I'm going to let you go because I want to comment. You can hear our response on the. First of all, thanks for doing what you do. The public service part of that is amazing, and those poll workers are. What's the right word? They spend a lot of hours. They train.
Thankless?
Thankless isn't one. Some are paid, some aren't. It depends where you're at.
I think you do get paid. I mean, it's not a lot.
I know
but
some get paid.
I would say
that's
that
what our community does.
Best thing you can do if you're skeptical about our voting system is go volunteer to be a poll worker.
Yeah, and I've sat in and watched the vote counts as an elected official. Not in being involved, just watching it. You have that right. You can also have observers come in from both parties or independents. They can come in and watch the process. It's absolutely amazing. But I didn't get a chance to ask her because we're already pushed for time because it went so long in the first segment. There is a belief in this state and in this country that sort of what happened in 2020 was not rights. Whoever your candidate was, in that case, 2020 was Donald Trump. Somehow he was swindled out of winning the election or cheated out of the, stolen votes, all that stuff. It's because of that results that this conspiracy and these sort of ideas sort of germinated and took off. It's that reason. Without Donald Trump, we're not having these same conversations, I don't believe. Which leads us to the Save America Act, which we'll take a break and give us a little bit of time at the end just to sort of show where the president is on this and what he believes should happen with voting, and why at least I think, and probably you as well, this SAVE Act is a dangerous first step into really, really limiting who can vote in this country. And there's a reason why the president thinks that. We'll get to that after this.
Day after day, year after year, the heavy lifting, the repetitive motion, and now your body feels it. Your back, your knees, your quality of life. At Access Legal, we stand up for people worn down by work. Workers' comp is our sole focus, and our team has recovered more than $35 million for Wisconsin workers. From sudden accidents to pain that builds over years of hard work, we're dedicated to fighting for the benefits you're entitled to. If you've been worn down by work, contact Access Legal for a risk-free consultation. Search AXIS Legal today.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi. For 70 years, Geis, G-E-I-S, has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. Don't let a busted garage door or your openers, inconsistent or not working at all. Call my friends at Geis today with brands like CHI, LiftMaster, which is what I have. They have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. I went out to their showroom in Brookfield. It's sensational. They have hundreds of doors and openers, all the technology, apps now, cameras on your door openers, amazing different styles and design options on the doors, from windows to really cool stuff. You can see it all at their showroom in Brookfield. It's set up perfectly for you to figure out what you're going to do before you actually do it. And that they say it all the time. They've done it for 70 years. Don't think twice. Call Geis, Geis doors.com.
Yes, Toradol is considered a strong pain reliever. It's one of the most potent non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs available. And absolutely, hyaluronic acid is used to treat shoulder, hip, elbow, and knee pain. It's a lubricating gel-like substance that reduces stiffness and improves mobility. It acts as a lubricant and shock absorber. reducing friction in the joint. And when we pinpoint the root of your pain, and we combine these powerful 100% FDA-approved pain relief medicines, if thousands of patient confirmations tell us anything, you're going to experience pain relief. And because of this, your quality of life increases, and you'll start living better. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas. There's much more to life that you've been missing because of your pain. This isn't even about taking a chance. It's about taking your first step to living pain-free. Go to rejuvenex.com to schedule your appointment so we can alleviate your pain and rejuvenate your life.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Call today and there's a good chance we could be seeing you tomorrow.
True luxury is the absence of worry. It begins the moment you settle into your seat with Delta Vacations and continues as you step onto the polished teak decks of a Holland America ship. Whether you're chasing the northern lights or the Mediterranean sun, Fox World Travel anticipates every detail so you can simply savor the journey. Stop managing the logistics and start making memories. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com to elevate your travel today.
A lot of people asking what's in the SAVE Act. There's a lot of things in here.
So I actually outlined it as far as what would change in Wisconsin law. Because like you said, each state has different election laws. They have different days where you can early vote, when you have to send your mail-in ballot. Like every state is different. And so I specifically, since most of our voters are in Wisconsin, you and I are in Wisconsin, the show is in Wisconsin. So as of right now in Wisconsin, you have to, when you register, have a proof of residence. So it's, a bill, credit card bill, something that shows that you live where you live, a utility, whatever. To register, you would have to show that you are a citizen. So that is more than just showing like a real ID, because on your real ID, unless there's like a super real ID or something that only 5 states have, it doesn't say whether or not you're a citizen or not. Because think about it. Legal citizens can lots of people get driver's licenses. That does not designate anywhere in your driver's license whether or not you're a citizen. So you would need to have your birth certificate, your passport, and if your name doesn't match, additional documentation to show the name change, and so that who you are today is the same person who was a citizen when they were born. So that's a big change for us as far as registration. Was this not the way you wanted to go as far as
Yeah. We just got a minute to wrap it up.
Oh, we only have a minute. Oh, the clock.
We can take it through the bottom.
But so we already have voter ID in Wisconsin, so that part wouldn't change as far as needing voter ID. But it would change like a same-day election registration, because now you're bringing more material to the poll place. As far as and it also would limit mail-in online registration, and basically what we can do now. So that would be a big change. And then what does it change to mail-in voting? There is a big change for mail-in voting, too.
Let's just say it restricts a lot of the typical ways people vote. The other thing it does is to give the federal government access to our voter rolls. Specific personal information, which I'm not a fan of, and you shouldn't be either. That's dangerous. And I like the fact that states run their own elections. I don't want the federal government running all elections, because here's the problem. This president believes he was screwed in 2020. Somehow he's managed to convince a lot of conservatives, a lot of Republicans that that's true. It's not. And this president is intent on changing the results in November based on this act. That's why it's a bad idea. So hopefully we got our thoughts across. We're going to have a guest in the next half hour. Interesting story about Cesar Chavez, that legacy. Big story last week. We have Neil Doyle with a news update coming up here. Here's now the latest from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry. Preston, airstrikes battering Iran and Iranian missiles and drones targeting several cities in the Middle East, including Tel Aviv. President Trump insists talks are underway or soon will be on ending the conflict. Iran denies that. In Afghanistan, an American researcher named Dennis Coyle has been freed by the Taliban.
64-year-old Coyle was held for more than a year. According to the family, he was kept in near solitary conditions. The Taliban have never said what he was accused of, other than saying he'd broken local laws. In a statement, the Afghan Foreign Ministry saying he was released on the occasion of the Eid holiday after an appeal for compassion and pardon from Coyle's family. At least 2 other Americans are believed to be still being held there. Ian Pannell, ABC News, London.
This is day 39 of the partial government shutdown. Long lines still snaking through some of the nation's airports. Oklahoma's governor has tapped an energy exec, Alan Armstrong, to finish Mark Wayne Mullen's term. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. 2 people are in custody after fleeing a traffic stop and hitting a West Dallas police officer. Happened Monday night near 82nd and Greenfield, just south of State Fair Park. Police say during the traffic stop, the vehicle fled the scene and struck the officer. The officer was not injured. The car then crashed after fleeing near 84th Street, just north of I-94. Both the driver and passenger were arrested. No one else was hurt. Milwaukee's Fire and Police Commission weighing some stricter restrictions on MPD's vehicle pursuit policy. It would require officers to terminate a chase if it increases danger to the public. Oversight advocates are also pushing for more frequent data releases. The proposed changes come after 9 people were killed during police chases in Milwaukee last year. The new resolution also follows a separate set of pursuit policy changes that were implemented by MPD last month. And early voting opening up today in the city of Milwaukee. Residents can now vote in person at 7 locations across the city until Sunday, April 5th. Voters who used to vote at the Midtown site at 60th and Capitol are being relocated to a new location at the Midtown Shopping Center near 56th and Fond du Lac. Most locations will be open up by about 10 o'clock each day, and that will include weekends as well. The spring election is coming up on Tuesday, April 7th. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is in the green, up about 157 points at 46,366. The NASDAQ is down about 76 points at 21,870. And the S&P 500 up about 3, sitting at 6,583. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We've got a couple of disabled vehicles that have popped up on the system, but really none of them in traffic causing any issues, so not seeing any major concerns. Everything is looking pretty good. Your forecast, partly cloudy today. We'll see a high up around 50 degrees. Tonight then, mostly cloudy, a low down to 35. Partly cloudy for Wednesday. We continue to warm up a bit. We'll see highs in the low 60s. Thursday for opening day for the Brewers will be mostly cloudy, breezy. Again, warmer. We'll see highs in the low to mid 60s. We could maybe see some showers late Thursday. And then we cool down as we head into Friday. We'll be mostly sunny with the high near 38. Right now, it's 39 degrees in Green Bay. We're sitting at 38 in Kenosha, and it's 38 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Before you go looking for an area rug that you'll have to settle for because you think that the one you really want will be out of your budget, come to Design Exchange, where you'll find a formidable selection of Oriental, Persian, and other wool area rug choices at 25 to 70% off retail. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor on consignment at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
If you're trying to find really good, high-end, distinctive furniture, the kind they just don't make anymore, then come to Design Exchange. But you better get here quickly, because the best furniture we take in on consignment doesn't usually last long. It may be vintage, it may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristen. He is Steve. And last week, The shocking news of Cesar Chavez and the scandals of allegations that came out that he, during the civil rights movement of the Latino culture and everything that was happening, that he was also assaulting young girls. And how quickly that story became public, but then also how quickly the fallout happened across the country, including here in Milwaukee, as far as statues being taken down and celebrations of Cesar Chavez Day being canceled. I've never seen anything like this as far as thinking about Me Too and thinking about Epstein files, as far as what it looks like to have such swift action for accountability is wildly impressive. But I also know I am not Latina. You are not Latino, Steve. So we wanted someone from the community to come on and talk about what this last week has been like. So joining us now is Daryl Maureen, who is the national president of Forward Latino. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here today. Glad to be here with you. I'm just sorry it's under the current circumstances.
Yeah, I mean, so describe this last week or so. This I mean, an icon of your community, and then this story from that woman who also has an incredible resume comes out. What's been the reaction? What's been the storyline?
There's no way around it. This has been an incredible gut punch to the entire community. Well, Cesar obviously started with Dolores Huerta, right? The United Farm Workers Union. That was the movement. But that movement became much bigger than the farm workers. It was about the protection of and respect for human dignity, right? That everyone should be treated with their due rights and receive the protections they deserve. So to have this, the person who's come to symbolize that fight for human dignity, to have this come out, it's been nothing less than a gut punch.
And because he died in 1983, is that correct?
It's been a few years back.
So yeah, and you say a gut punch, and so was there really no rumors or kind of like things spoken in the shadows? Because I think about people talk about like Bill Cosby, and there was kind of this thing that people knew, but they just didn't talk about it because that was like an industry secret. Was this really something that most people did not have any idea about?
Most people had no idea about it whatsoever. You know. Just recently, there was some talk, just literally recently in the last week and a half or so, that there might be something. But then with Dolores Huerta came out, somebody who is up there as well, who helped us, Cesar start the United Farm Workers. When she came out and shared her story, that's when all the credibility that she has came with that, and really hurt us and hit us all very deep.
You've spoken with the Chavez family, correct?
Yes, I have.
What have they said?
They're in shock and they're in disbelief. And I give them credit for this. They put out a statement right away saying that they're devastated and that they're praying for the survivors. They shared with me there's no way that they want to defend the indefensible, et cetera. And they just hope that people understand they need a little bit of time to process all this because we're talking about their father.
I know you want to ask, but I want to get this in. So he passed in the early 90s. He has no real ability to defend himself or the record. Are there allegations? Has the response been too fast, too quick, too immediate, just scrub him from all the public things we mentioned at the outset?
Yeah. There's a lot of discussions around that. I can share. We're working with people at the city, the county, the state, and the national level on what to do here. But I think there's broad consensus across the entire Latino community. And there's a lot of segments to our community, right? About broad consensus that there's no way that we can turn a blind eye or try to defend these allegations, especially when Dolores came out and said she was a victim and very definitively shared that. The majority of Latinos are people of strong faith. Mm-hmm. And we have a hard time looking the other way when we see something that is just so profoundly wrong. And whether you lead a movement, whether you lead a major corporation, or whether you lead a government, right? There should be accountability for some basic things. And I think the Latino community, while we're struggling with this right now, we're pretty much unified in agreeing that, yeah, there does need to be some dramatic changes made.
So that does not surprise you as far as how swift and fast the reaction has been?
No, I'll share with you just here in the city. The statue was taken down. There's been efforts, obviously, to rename an upcoming celebration. In fact, I'm going out to California this weekend where I was supposed to speak at an event honoring Cesar's legacy. It's been recast now as a farm workers' heritage event. But I think once this initial thing has gone by, we've made some of these swift changes, the community is going to come together and say, okay, what do we have to do to honor the work or the movement? And that's the better way to say it, the movement, because it's much more about just one man, right? How do we continue to keep that alive so that the Latino community has something to continue to aspire to and to celebrate?
Well, and that's what I was going to say, because I made a joke last week. Steve didn't like it, but there's a Charlie Kirk highway thing that's happening in Washington County. This news broke last week. And just the talking about naming things after people. I joked about not stop naming things after men, but because no one does anything by themselves, right? Whether it's MLK, Cesar Chavez, Charlie Kirk, any of these people all had systems around them and a movement they were working towards. And so I appreciate that it's not that you forget everything that they did, but they were a person, they were a human being, they were fallible, but it doesn't take away what the movement did and it doesn't take away the rights that were gained because of the work.
Exactly. Back in the day, farmers would spray down the pesticide and they would spray it down on the farm workers there as well, right? Things that we know would cause cancer and health problems. They'd be out there working in 115-degree heat all day long, et cetera, without access to water. I mean, these are all things that were injustices that nobody should look a blind eye to. Yet at that time, people were, and they were remaining silent. So he did bring about a bunch of reforms, but now it's about how do we keep the movement moving forward, and especially now in this country when we see such division, and I'm going to say it, in some quarters, hatred against the Latino community. As part of our organization, I never thought I'd be spending so much time helping hate crime victims, right? And it's because of all of this extreme and mostly false rhetoric that's out there. So it's a very difficult time, all in all, for our community.
Let's take a break. We'll talk next steps. We're talking to Darren Maureen, National President of Forward Latino. Great guest, great conversation. Cesar Chavez, an icon of the Latino community, and the story has certainly changed that dynamic. We'll continue the conversation after this on 620 WTMJ.
At Redo Cabinets, we know the kitchen is the heart of the home. It's the place that design and function matter most. Mark Olson here. Redo Cabinets wants to transform your kitchen into your vision without the mess, the stress, or the cost of a full kitchen remodel with cabinet refacing. During our spring sales event, learn all about refacing, premium cabinet products, and plenty of options for color, hardware, style, and accessories. And now get a free premium countertop with every refacing project, or payments that start as low as $195 a month. Call today and book a free, no-obligation consultation. Redo Cabinets, 414-677-6417. 414-677-6417. That's 414-677-6417. Or visit us at redocabinets.com. That's redocabinets.com. Serving homeowners for over 70 years in Illinois and Wisconsin. Don't replace, reface with Redo Cabinets.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Stop into Ken Michaels Furniture for our sale on Braddington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Braddington Young is an American icon in quality leather upholstery. Whether you're looking for power recliners or stationary seating, BY's Furniture is made with enduring quality, outstanding comfort, and timeless styling. Save 35% now on Braddington Young upholstery at Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield and Greenfield. Visit us today.
How are things at Kessler's Greenfield, Kelly?
Fantastic. I heard you have an idea for springtime.
I love spring.
I have a big collection of new life to show you.
New life is a spring thing.
Show us. I call it crosses and clovers.
These are amazing.
Well done, Kelly.
These are stunningly unique.
Kelly, the surface of this 4-leaf clover is fantastic. What's it made of?
Sarah, the surface of that lucky 4-leaf clover is made of crushed black diamonds.
Wow. I'm buying this one. How much?
$185. In yellow gold vermeil, it's just $270. This cross? $90.
And these initials pendants?
These are $60.
Clovers, crosses, and personalized pendants.
And a leprechaun that says they're magically delicious.
Sarah, that's a breakfast cereal.
Kelly, you've done well.
Extremely well.
Extremely very well. Happy springtime, everyone.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Ruger offices. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Darrell Maureen, our guest, National President of Forward Latino. I'm a big next steps guy, action plan. And obviously, while we think these things could happen quickly, changing names of schools or changing street names, it's actually, there's a specific process that has to happen here. So next steps on a lot of these curriculum, maybe that has to be changed. Books, what books you have a name in, or accurately representing the story, probably more accurate to this case. What's the next steps here for the community?
There's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. Even if you talk about just changing the name of the street we have here on the south side, there's statutes and process that needs to be followed, community surveys that need to be done. We're probably looking at least 9 months to a year before anything, concrete can be happening there. But I think there's this initial steps that people are taking right now to change what they can change. But I think there's collective agreement, and this is happening not just here, but around the country, that the community does need to have time to come together, or first finish processing everything we've just learned, and then come together to say, how do we continue, or how do we want to relabel or rebrand these things in support of the movement, right? And once again, not asking for anything to be given, but I think it's important that we have things that remind us of our history, not to live in the history, but to help us keep those memories alive so we don't repeat those mistakes moving forward.
Could it be a learning opportunity, too? I would think that, sort of the Me Too in the Latino community, where you learn something about someone that you thought was an icon, but there was a other person there that you weren't aware of, could be a learning opportunity for young people as well.
No, definitely. And you brought it up before. What about these history books, right? Unless the only thing you'll learn about Latino history in history books these days are either El Conquistador, right, or the Alamo,
right,
or Cesar Chavez, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But all of the contributions, when we talk about the American Revolution, boy, where are the contributions of all the Hispanics and Latinos that fought and died, that provided arms to General Washington when nobody else would? All these types of things are missing. So this would be a good opportunity to reopen those books and let's fix things once and for all.
Unless you watch the 15 hours of the Ken Burns documentary.
Yeah, he covers everybody. He tells the real story. Yeah, exactly. We were talking during a break. The Latino community is not a monolith. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's a lot of pieces. Share some of that with our audience, because I think that's how we should look at this.
Yeah, so a lot of people say the Latino or Hispanic communities, and just for a level set, Latino is if you're from a country that's in Latin America. Hispanic is if you're from a country that predominantly speaks Spanish.
Right.
So most people are Latino and Hispanic, right? But the way the government's looked at is different if you come from South America or Central America, where there's been a lot of history of regimes, those types of things. You have Hispanics from Mexico, right, with that experience. Then you have like Afro-Latinos, et cetera, Caribbean, right, Latinos. And some of those are U.S. citizens, right, the Puerto Ricans, et cetera. So everybody comes from this different space and brings those ideals with them. But once again, around this fundamental issue of what took place, there's broad condemnation and admission that what happened was just wrong.
But could this negative bring the community together?
Oh, definitely. It's already started a lot of conversations in a lot of places. Once again, the most frustrating or tragic thing about this is that it's happening during a time when the entire community is under attack. I talked about the hate crimes earlier. I mentioned that over 97% of all hate crime victims we help right now are actually U.S. citizens. And nobody ever stopped to ask them what their status was or whatever. Right. They saw somebody with prominent Hispanic features and acted upon that.
Well, and that was going to be my question as far as even before this shocking news. It's over a year of this administration and a newfound effort on ICE. And I know ICE in Wisconsin has not been as intense as Chicago or Minneapolis and some of our neighbors. But has that also been an opportunity where people have come together, even though one of the storylines of the 2024 election was kind of a split voting bloc in the Latino community?
Yeah, definitely. Because we're seeing this isn't just impacting what ICE is doing, the undocumented. We've actually had a report or a Supreme Court midnight decision that came down and said, yeah, ICE can continue to pull over people, question them, and detain them if they look Latino and speak Spanish, or work in places where undocumented might work. I mean, I never thought I'd be here saying that could happen in this country. But it really is a terrifying experience for everyone. And to this point, though, I'm not just seeing Latinos rally to this. We're getting calls every day from people all over the state, all over the country, who've never got involved in the political process saying, how can I volunteer? How can I help? It's really mobilized, I think, the American fabric of people who really understand the history behind the foundation of our nation.
I got to say, you were recommended as a guest on this subject, and you have not disappointed. You obviously know the material, obviously leading an organization like Forward Latino. You're on your way to California, right?
Yeah, so I'm supposed to speak this Saturday. It was supposed to be a Cesar Chavez event honoring him. It's been renamed the United Farm Workers Heritage Event. I hope to meet with some of the key folks who've been impacted by this. We'll see if we're able to make that happen. But once again, everyone's just devastated. I'll be meeting with folks who worked with Cesar, who thought of him as family, et cetera. So there's just a lot of healing that needs to take place right now.
Awesome to talk to you. Let's keep the lines of communication open. A great resource for our show and for our station. They're Maureen, National President, Forward Latino. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, take a quick break on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
We understand it's getting harder for you to find new employees. That's why we recommend using broadcast media to our clients to help find them. And you know what? It works. For years, we've used it, and over we fill job fairs and keep a steady new flow of employees for some pretty important clients. Broadcast advertising works for employee recruitment. But with our market leverage, you'll get a lot more for your money than you'll get on your own. Anderson-Smith.com. We help businesses find new employees.
Anybody out there like political ads? I already know your answer, and it's because a lot of them are bad. Phony dialogue with the sound effects of a diner in the background, dramatic voiceovers with scary music that changes into happy, hopeful music when the candidate being pushed is described. Whatever happened to an honest pitch from a candidate that doesn't sound like they're reading, but rather expressing their genuine passion to bring about change? Use us and we'll drive that home, and voters will believe you. Anderson-Smith.com. We will help you win in the next election.
3 generations ago, it was about doing one thing and doing it right.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, floors that had to last because our name, Adair, was on them. Over time, homeowners asked us to do more. Kitchens, bathrooms, full remodels. And so our name changed to Adair Floors and Remodeling.
But flooring has always been the foundation, literally.
And it's something the next generation already understands.
Hi, I'm Ava. Hi, I'm Quinn. My dad does floors.
From hardwood and luxury vinyl plank to tile and carpet, we handle selection, layout, and professional installation.
And because we also remodel homes, we know how flooring works with everything else. Transitions, finishes, and long-term durability.
When you hire Adair, you're getting experience you can stand on and people who will be here for decades to come.
Call my dad. Bye-bye.
Adair Floors and Remodeling. Built on flooring, trusted for remodels. 3 generations, 1 standard. Call us at 414-761-3660 for your free flooring estimate.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris sit down with Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, on the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, take your family to the Good Friday Fish Fry and the magnificent Easter Sunday brunch at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. It's all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat free. Free for the Easter brunch. Google, call, reserve at the Fox and Hounds today.
It's almost here.
Tarang, a fly ball to center. It is gone!
Baseball is back and almost within reach. Join us on WTMJ for coverage leading up to opening day. We'll be broadcasting live from American Family Field leading right up to the first pitch. Opening day on WTMJ is presented by Big Fish Contracting. We are the home of the Brewers all season long. WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
I feel like this is is saying what I was trying to say better than I said it. The more we get back to we the people, the more we will get away from these, quote, false gods that we name and build statues after, first and foremost. They are human. Once again, it goes back to humanity. I think that is more what I meant instead of idolizing the one person, understanding that they were probably not perfect and that we should never just give them carte blanche.
And I'll go as far as people who name things after themselves. That seems rather odd as well, odd behavior and unnecessary.
Okay.
So I think we should think long and hard. We got plenty of statues. I don't know if we need more statues for more people.
More art. That's not statues.
As I said before, as long as it's not the calling, we don't need any more callings. But I'm a pro art guy.
Okay.
Just not that piece of art.
Just not that one?
Yeah. Everything else I like for the most.
Do you like all the other things that are on Wisconsin Ave?
Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
And I'm a big fan of murals, too. Well-done murals. Absolutely. That Giannis one, it's over there.
Also on Wisconsin Ave?
Yeah, love that.
It's great.
Love that. My grandson Max saw that. He goes, I'm trying to remember. Holy cow, that thing's big.
It is.
They took a picture of him by it. Yeah.
All right.
We got a break.
We still got another
second hour. She's Chris and I'm Steve Point taken.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful Bill. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the truth. The changes buried in this bill could have a serious impact on your retirement. At Drake & Associates, we've dug into the details, and we want to make sure you know what's really at stake. The Big Beautiful Bill includes sweeping updates to tax brackets, Social Security thresholds, Medicare premiums, and retirement account rules. And for many retirees, it could mean higher taxes on your savings, more limits on deductions, and unexpected changes to your income plan. Maybe you're already retired, or maybe you're just a few years away. Either way, what you don't know could cost you thousands. That's why we're offering Wisconsin residents a free educational guide to help you understand how the new bill may impact retirees and questions to discuss with your trusted financial advisor. Just text the word tax to 414-897-9522. That's tax, T-A-X, to 414-897-9522. You'll get immediate access to expert insights from the team at Drake & Associates, retirement planners who have been serving Wisconsin for over 20 years. We focus on tax-efficient retirement planning, helping you keep more of your money, avoiding surprises, and staying ahead of the curve no matter what Congress throws your way. So before the Big Beautiful Bill takes a bite out of your hard-earned savings, let's make sure your plan is designed to help prepare for uncertainty. Text TAX to 414-897-9522. That's TAX to 414-897-9522. Drake & Associates, helping build retirement confidence right here in Wisconsin.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
It's almost here.
Terang, a fly ball to center. It is gone!
Baseball is back and almost within reach. Join us on WTMJ for coverage leading up to opening day. We'll be broadcasting live from American Family Field leading right up to the first pitch. Opening day on WTMJ is presented by Big Fish Contracting. We are the home of the Brewers all season long. WTMJ.
Just after 11 o'clock, it's 38 degrees, partly cloudy conditions, and we'll see a high near 50. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. After being detained for more than a year, American researcher Dennis Coyle has now been freed by the Taliban.
64-year-old Coyle was held for more than a year. According to the family, he was kept in near solitary conditions. The Taliban have never said what he was accused of, other than saying he'd broken local laws. In a statement, the Afghan Foreign Ministry saying he was released on the occasion of the Eid holiday after an appeal for compassion and pardon from Coyle's family. At least 2 other Americans are believed to be still being held there. Ian Pannell, ABC News, London.
Lines at the nation's airports continuing to get longer. More TSA officials forcing to be working without any pay, and many of them continuing to call out sick. Jessica Boney missed her flight from Atlanta to Raleigh after waiting in a security checkpoint line for several hours. She says she eventually found a way home, but the journey was not easy.
We had to get on the bus, the Greyhound bus, and travel from Atlanta to Raleigh to the bus station. And at the bus station, we had to Uber here so that we can get our bags. It's very frustrating because I have a life back home. Like, I should have been at work.
The White House this week dispatched several ICE agents to dozens of airports across the country to help with those TSA shortages. New state funding aimed at preventing crime and violence is heading to Milwaukee. Governor Tony Evers says the effort to curb violence isn't just focused on larger cities.
Last 2 years ago, there were 99 people murdered in the state of Wisconsin because of domestic violence. That didn't happen all in Milwaukee. Believe me, it happened all across the state. So violence is something that knows no boundaries.
The governor's visit comes on the heels of a deadly weekend across Milwaukee that included shootings downtown and on the north side. The animal rights activists who went to Ridgeland Farms in Dane County last week removed more than 20 beagles say they're going back.
This time, they want to get all the dogs. Activist and actress Alexandra Paul was part of the first effort. Now she's helping to lead a new one next month.
We're excited to go back and finish the job, so that these dogs that are held at Ridgeland Farms are no longer held there.
There are about 2,000 dogs at Ridgeland Farms right now. So logistically, where would all of those dogs go if you're successful?
Well, they would go to loving homes.
Ridgeland Farms breeds beagles for biomedical research. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is in the green, up about 20 points at 46,230. The NASDAQ is in the red, down 120 at 21,826. And the S&P 500 is off about 8 points at 6,572. Financial planning at every level: Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it, we help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait, call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Who doesn't need a seasonal wardrobe update? But who has the cash to always keep their wardrobe updated? Ladies, that's why you shop St. Vincent de Paul. Our women's clothing is always a highlight of our stores, and thrift store prices keep the costs low. It allows you to experiment and also find a hidden gem. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
For those with a warm weather fashion passion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law offices. One call, that's all sports desk. Just 2 days away from opening day, the Brewers putting the final touches, though, on their spring training final exhibition game happening today against the Cincinnati Reds. That game is happening over at American Family Field, a 4:10 first pitch. And then Thursday, the season opens up against the White Sox at home. Of course, we'll have full coverage of opening day for you right here on WTMJ. Shorthanded Milwaukee Bucks, they've now dropped 10 of their last 14, losing yesterday to the LA Clippers 129-96. Bucks also announcing that they are waiving guard Cam Thomas, who they picked up right around the trade deadline. Bucks will continue their road trip. They'll be in Portland tomorrow night. Let's take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We've got a bit of an issue at 94 eastbound. This is right near 35th Street in the Stadium interchange. We've got a car that is flipped over onto its roof. So the two left lanes are blocked due to that crash. They're also shutting down. This is Wisconsin 175 southbound to get on to 94 eastbound. That ramp is currently closed as authorities are on the scene there dealing with this accident, so causing some backups there. Again, that's 94 eastbound right at 35th Street. Otherwise, rest of the system is looking good. Your forecast, partly cloudy conditions as we move throughout the day. A high getting up around 50 degrees. Tonight then, mostly cloudy, a low down to 35. Partly cloudy, a little bit warmer tomorrow. We'll see highs in the low 60s. Continuing to warm up Thursday, mostly cloudy. We could see some showers late, highs again in the low 60s, but then we cool right back down on Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 38. Right now, it's 40 degrees in Madison, sitting at 41 in Waukesha, and it's 39 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour of Point Taken. And I think we agree on this one. We have to find more things we disagree on, Steve. But I hate these prediction markets.
I do too. We agree on it.
And granted, I've said it many times, I am not a gambler. You are much more of a gambler than I am. So whether it's traditional sports betting, whether it is blackjack, poker, I don't like putting my money on things that are not a sure thing. Because
there's no guarantee.
I don't have a lot of it, so I don't want to waste it.
Yeah.
And yet, these prediction markets have made it so easy to place bets on futures for just about anything that ranges from the grotesque actions of war to what words are going to be said on late night television.
I got to be honest, this started, for me, is the news that Congress or the Senate was actually specifically working on. They wanted to end the sports side of this stuff. But there's so much else happening.
But there's so much
here.
else that is even... Because the sports stuff, because some of this stuff is you just have inside information of things that are actually going to happen, and then you go and place a bet on it.
And people are dropping some serious money right before these events or these actions are happening, which does call into question the ethics of a member of Congress, a member of the administration. I'll go, even though I don't have the evidence, members of the president's family perhaps getting involved in some of this.
So we'll get back to that. But so what is the sports bill? What's the sports side of this, and how is it different than a FanDuel or like what we just passed in Wisconsin?
Because those one you just mentioned, they're authorized by actual legislation. These other ones, is it Kalshi
and Polymarket.
They've jumped into sports and casino games like blackjack, which I love. There's a loophole where they're allowed to do this right now. The Senate is trying to close that loophole. They don't want, because there's so much review of the legal side of gambling. You know this. It's happening right now in Wisconsin. And in cities like Las Vegas and formerly in Atlantic City and other places, New Jersey, the state, and other places around. There's so much review of the gambling process, what the rules are, who can participate, where that action happens. These other sort of new players, operators, everything from grocery store operators who are like jumping into this stuff, are playing around in this arena with very little review. And the Senate, in a bipartisan fashion, by the way, has said, no, we're not doing this. There has to be review. We're not allowing you to do this. But
only on sports bets?
Sports and casino games, right? Because they're just doing it without any review.
Why not go after all of it?
Well, that's the point. Because to me, and you put a great example in our notes, 6,200 oil futures contracts worth $580 million were traded in a 60-second period, 15 minutes before the President of the United States, Donald Trump, posted on Truth Social that the U.S. and Iran had held productive talks.
Which Iran says, no, we didn't.
They call BS. They said, I just saw it on the banner.
But didn't change.
No.
It totally impacting the markets.
Because this president has understood that he can, with his words, with his posts, shift things rather dramatically in the markets. And if you don't think someone that's connected to this president is going to seize the opportunity to make, I don't know, a couple million here, a couple million there on advance notice, then you're stupid.
The same thing happened with the first strike in Iran.
Right.
As far as people making money off of that. And then there was 8 anonymous Polymarket accounts that placed nearly $70,000 on a ceasefire last weekend, standing to collect nearly $820,000.
Yeah, that's bad. Now, I'm a realist. The sports stuff is easy. That's easy. They have bipartisan support. This one, not as easy. Although I will say that.
But besides the people who are, the individuals who can make money off of this cleanly, without insider information, the companies that make money off of, taking a percentage or whatever, how they make their money off of each bet that's made. Like, what benefit does this have to society? I would love to hear the argument of why this is good for us and moves us forward.
I'm not making that argument.
I know, but for anyone who's like, this is like Uber. I can get a car faster, right? It's like, there's some downsides to Uber. There was some downsides to Airbnb, like new introductions to how we communicate, how we spend our money, things that are actually like disruptors sometimes have negative externalities that we then look back, you're like, that wasn't a great thing, but, we got this other thing out of it. I do not understand what we get out of this as a society that makes us better.
As a society, nothing. As an individual who has advanced knowledge, everything.
Sure.
It started, the first one I knew about was Venezuela. That attack was foreshadowed. People made money because that was one of the active bets. I think it was Polymarket, where you could actually bet that we would take action there, which is so random. And then all of a sudden, half an evening later, we're invading Venezuela. That's inside information. That's dangerous. It's illegal. And that's the problem here. And I never want betting to be associated with policy, because that's ripe for abuse and dishonest behavior. And frankly, shallow policy decisions, because maybe a president or a senator or a congressperson is utilizing their power just to make money and not to serve the people, which is the biggest problem.
So there's a new op-ed in the New York Times called the Casino That's Eating the World. And this is what this author says, what the boosters or the supporters of this technology promise. They tell us grandly that the sum of all those bets gives us our best forecast of the future, even a workable approximation of the truth. They also offer an unnerving implicit philosophy that we should relate to the future not as citizens or moralists, problem solvers or advocates, but as gamblers, each of us surveying the horizon of possibility somewhat indifferent to human outcomes and looking instead for a betting edge.
Yeah, I'm a gambler, and I don't
not good.
No, it's an abuse of the system. What do you think, 855-616-1620? I've never done the Polymarket action or some of these other companies, but I certainly have bet a lot of money in Las Vegas over the years and other places, including Mexico recently.
I guess because someone just said they gamble in the stock market. But I still feel like this is different than...
There's rules
there's
on that
rules.
behavior. There's actually laws against insider trading in the stock market, in the market. So different. There's literally no rules to this stuff.
And I also think you don't think about the end game here as far as how irrational and violent some people get if they lose a lot of money. So if all of a sudden something that they bet that was going to happen didn't happen and they have an axe to grind, anyone thinking about that?
Unintended consequences. She's Kristen, I'm Steve. We'll continue the conversation. Love to hear from you, 855-616-1620, which is also the way you can subscribe to our newsletter. Just text EXTRA, EXTRA, and you can get a link, subscribe, and you have a chance to win an awesome 4-pack of tickets to a April 14th game, Brewers, Blue Jays, but not if you don't subscribe. And we're going to pick that winner, I think, Wednesday evening or Thursday morning.
And then announce it on Thursday.
Yeah, hopefully talk to the winner. Well, we're going We're going to try to effort to do that. We'll see what happens because Kristen and I, as you know, because we talked about it earlier, we'll be broadcasting live from American Family Field just outside with Greg Matzik, getting all of our interviews and fun Brewers stuff and fun conversations with all things opening day. That's coming up on Thursday's show. No politics that day. No poly market on Thursday.
Just fun.
Just fun, which is great because it's opening day. Quick break.
Restaurant inflation is everywhere, but not at the Mind Chef family restaurant in Hartford. WTMJ's John Mercure here. The Mind Chef is the most affordable dining destination in the area. The authentic Tuesday Mexican buffet is all you can eat in just $9.99 from 11 a.m. till 8. That's right, $9.99. Unbelievable. Kids 5 and under eat free today from the kids menu. They'll love the world-class game room quietly set away from the dining area. Your teenagers will really love it. Even adults love it. I urge you to visit the Mind Chef today for the all-you-can-eat Mexican buffet for under $10. Happy hour is 2 till 5 today with half-price cocktails, beer, and appetizers, half price. And Wednesday, the all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is just $8.99. The Mind Chef, right there in downtown Hartford and in Oshkosh near the EAA. Lots of seating, close parking. You will not spend a lot of money at the Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. Just Google it, Mind Chef, and walk on in today.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Get your rock solid guaranteed pre-approval to buy at ACCUNET.com.
Oh, the great Christopher Cross. I'll see him live at Summerfest. I think it's July 3rd, the concerts. Might be Briggs and Stratton. Don't quote me on that, but that's going to be a must-see for me, the Stever, in 2026.
You just refer to yourself as the
Yeah, that's the
Stever?
third-person version of me. You ever heard me say that before?
Stever?
The Stever, yeah.
Wow.
There's a whole story
that is
behind
new.
There's a whole. I once told the story to Alex Strofe on one of our Packers thing. The whole story behind that, which I'm not going to tell right now, but yes, I did do what you just said I did.
Do you do that often?
No.
Okay.
Select moments. I'm not sure why I chose this moment. Maybe it's Christopher Cross.
Steve Rooney?
No.
I'm going to go with that.
Fun Bob Uecker story, though. I've interviewed him. I interviewed him probably 7 or 8 times in my course of my doing opening days. 7 probably. He called me a different name every year. Stevie, Steverino. I think he called the Esteban one year, like the Spanish version. It was like he just always.
I like Esteban.
Yeah, he always had a different version of my name, which I thought was kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
And that was you talk about great opportunities as a broadcaster. That's as good as it gets. So
Could you keep up
with Bob?
with his wit?
No. You just let him go. You hand him the opportunity and he goes.
Okay.
And then when he does stop talking, then you ask the next question. That's how it worked with Bob. And Johnny Carson knew this. You let him go because he was Bob Uecker. As good as it gets when it came to interviews. We all miss him. I mean, last year was our first year, the full season, now 2 years. I just always have had this hope that they can win one for him.
I wonder if there will be little dedications and flowers and beers and stuff at a statue again last year, because there was a lot last year.
Yeah, you covered that, didn't you?
Yeah, and then I wonder if those people will still put stuff there this year. That'll just be a tradition.
Yeah, and I know that I think after the opening day game, there's like the documentaries being shown. I think at American Family Field. Did I hear that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Someone will know that's going to the game. Yeah. So very cool story. A lot of people talking about what we were just commenting on about the poly markets. The poly market betting seems to provide a favorable environment for corruption. Yeah, absolutely. Trading compassion, humanity for a possible quick windfall, and that's what we're seeing. And we cited in these stories of where policy becomes a opportunity for a quick enhancement of your wallets because
not
know
just
something.
policy, but also like military action. So that
Venezuela,
was
Iran.
someone was saying, so there is a separate problem as far as I think most of us agree that we would like it if senators and Congress and members of the House could not invest in the stock market.
Yeah,
because there is a lot of money being made over there as far as people who are making decisions on regulations that impact companies. And you can follow trades that happen when there is information knowing different things that are going to change in policy. on the other side, this is betting on things that will or will not happen. So it's a binary yes or no.
Yeah.
And it is less about policy and how it impacts the valuation of a company. And it is more of, is someone going to say this thing? Will we invade Iran? And when it comes to military action like this, there's only a handful of people who are going to know things in a short time before they actually happen, thus indicating that there's people connected to the military, connected to this administration when it comes to Venezuela, Iran, as far as who's making money off of this because they know what's going to happen very quickly.
Here's my question. Insider trading is a long process to, one, investigate it, charge, and convict. It takes a long time. With these sort of opportunities for these, high stakes propositions, are we going to see at some point these companies subpoena and say, who's submitting this bets?
It's all anonymous.
But at some point somebody knows because you're getting paid
the
out.
Platforms know because obviously
Is that a subpoena?
Actually, that's a good question. I wonder how much information you have to give.
Yes.
To sign up for an account.
So if a senator or a congressperson or a member of the administration can be identified as making that bet and capitalizing on insider information, albeit in a different kind of environment for betting, criminal activity? I don't know.
I'm going to do that at the commercial break.
Look it up?
No, I'm going to sign up for an account and see how much information they ask for.
It's a good thing. Little homework.
I'll report back.
All right, Kristen, Steve, point taken on Tuesday.
Look, it's Jake from our store in Kenosha.
Hi, Monica. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Rick.
Your email said you had a big surprise.
Look and tell me what you see.
Wow, I see 9 perfect examples of the classic diamond solitaire engagement ring.
They're gorgeous.
These rings are exactly what people imagine when they hear the words engagement ring.
Monica, do you think it will always be like that?
Evermore.
That long?
And each of these is 3/4 of a carat.
$998.
Unbelievable. So how much do we sell them for?
That is how much we sell them for.
Can we do that?
We're the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America, Rick. We can do anything we want.
But for how long?
Evermore.
People can choose any of the 9 most popular style solitaires, 3/4 of a carat, and each of them was created in the heart of a miniature star.
5 different diamond shapes, 2 colors of gold. Evermore, just $998.
Or $1498 with a 1-carat diamond center with diamonds on the side.
Learn more at KesslersDiamonds.com.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Join the Brewers Series against the White Sox March 26th, 28th, and 29th. Grab this year's first giveaway on Saturday the 28th, a replica of American Family Field for the first 25,000 fans, courtesy of American Family Insurance. On the 29th, it's Kids Cheer Free. Buy an adult terrace seat and receive a free ticket for kids ages 14 and under. On Sunday the 29th, the first 5,000 kids get a drip necklace giveaway. Grab your seats at brewers.com/tickets.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Have you ever thought to yourself, I want my house to look better than it does. I just don't know where to even start or even what to do. Tri-County Contracting can help you with that. They can help you love your home again. They have the design consultants, they've got the showroom, they've got real picture renderings, they've got it all to help turn your home back into your dream home. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again with Tri-County Contracting.
11:25, 620 WTMJ on this Tuesday. Kristen and Steve. You got a big event tonight.
I do. I'm getting an error.
Oh.
Because I think for Poly Market, you literally just have to give your email address. Because you go to sign up and it says, put your email in, then it sends you a code, and I keep entering the code in, but it's saying there's an error, try again. So I don't know if there's a lot of more of a funnel after you put in the code. But as far as at least the initial information you have to put in, just an email.
I'm somewhat shocked that on our office computers, you can just log in the Poly Market, and
that is also true.
Interesting. Maybe might be a heads up for.
But
IT
yeah,
folks.
as far as being able to sign up without a lot of just like a fake email address.
Yeah,
that's pretty easy. Yeah, Kelshi. All you do is single sign on,
right.
connect your email, and
But at some point, you'd have to have a bank account connected to it. If you get
That's
paid.
true.
Yeah, you have to get paid at some point.
But I guess if you set up a bank account, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm sure someone who can figure this out to a way to try to do this anonymously has been able to figure it out.
all
But
right,
yes,
before
I do
you
have
do
an
the
event
Fister
tonight.
thing, I was talking about the Uke documentary. They're going to show 20 minutes of the film after the game, not
Great.
the whole thing. Yes, Fister tonight.
Fister tonight. If you were in or around downtown Milwaukee, come stop by. Blue at the Fister, which
Awesome
is
place.
the 9th or 10th floor bar.
I think it's 10th.
Yeah, and so we are doing a fundraiser for Sojourner Family Peace Center. It will be me. It'll be Paul Bartolotta.
Name dropper.
I'm wondering how good he is at making a drink. I feel like out
I
of the
imagine
three
he
of
knows
us,
his
he'll
way around.
probably be the best out of the three of us. And then the third person is Kristen Pierce, who is a former reporter over at WISN. The three of us are co-chairs for Be the Light 2026.
Do you know Kristen?
I do now.
Oh.
I think actually the first time I met Kristen, she was still working at WISN, and it was for a David Crowley's annual like softball game.
Oh yeah.
I think it was the first time I met Jaron Jordan too.
And have you met Paul Bartolotta before?
Yeah, we've been having meetings, and we kicked this off.
How's
like
he in a
last-
meeting? I mean, I've seen him in the restaurant.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's very sociable.
He's a cool.
He also
cool
brings
dude.
his sister, who
Yeah.
she wants to be more behind the scenes. Like she doesn't want her name on anything,
Right.
but you can tell that she's in charge.
Really?
Well, I mean, he's doing. They divide and conquer. That's probably a better way to say it. But some of the admin stuff, I think he looks to her and goes, "Did we do that?"
All right. So if someone shows up tonight. I know how it works because I was a bartender a couple of times. How does it work?
Basically, you order a drink, you tip handsomely
Because
because
it goes.
all the tips go to Sojourner. And so 10% of the bar sales and all of the tips go to Sojourner Family Peace Center. What else? I think we're doing a raffle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I forgot what the raffle. I think that it's I'm going to misspeak.
You've got time to check. I mean, the cool thing about it, one, it's the Fister, which I love. It's a great location. If you've never been to the Fister, go check it out. I love. My friend Carol Kane and I have lunch at the cafe, which is open, I think, till about 2. Fantastic local restaurant right down the street on Wisconsin Avenue. Fister's gorgeous. All the history. Just a beautiful hotel. I've been to receptions there. Went to the Lombardi dinner many years in a row at their I think it was 7th floor ballroom. Been at Best Buddies events there. It's just a beautiful place and a great venue for what you're doing tonight.
I think it's going to be really fun. I think we're going to get a lot of people there. Would love to see you there. I will post a link tomorrow on ways to tip, even if you're not there.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so then the raffle is, it's a $100 gift certificate to a Bartolotta restaurant of your choice.
What's not to like?
So there you go. So if you
So-
donate to that for the raffle, then you have a chance to win.
So yesterday, I said to you, I'm going to have you make me a Manhattan. Do you remember what the ingredients were to that said Manhattan? This is a test.
Did you say you wanted a brandy Manhattan?
Brandy Manhattan. Make it easy. Brandy Manhattan. Okay,
Yeah,
so
so it's
brandy's
like-
the easy one.
So it's like 2 ounces of brandy and then a little bit of sweet vermouth on top and an
Yes.
olive.
And that's it.
And you just want me to stir it?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't want like the sweet vermouth just like floating on top?
Just a splash.
What I'm actually good at is making what an old fashioned is everywhere else in the country. So no Sprite, no seltzer water, just
Yeah.
like bourbon, muddled cherry, muddled orange,
What I'll
a
tell you
little bit
about
of bitters,
that,
a
as
little bit
somebody-
of sugar.
as somebody who was a bartender,
water.
everybody loves those. They take forever as a bartender.
Oh,
You
yeah.
say-
But that's like the one drink I know how to make off the top of my head.
There you go. You're smart. All right. Local news coming up with Neil Doyle. Lots more show yet, at least a half hour. Here's the latest now from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Conflicting accounts of talks between the U.S. and Iran. President Trump told reporters that negotiations have started, but Iran is denying his claims. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge is in Jerusalem.
One of the main headlines we just got is that this senior Israeli military official is saying that the figure within the Iranian regime who the Trump administration is in contact with, or either indirectly or directly, is Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf. Now, he is the Speaker of the Iranian parliament. He's former member of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. In the words of this Israeli official, quote, he is not Mother Teresa.
Senate lawmakers say they are closer to a funding fix for DHS that would end the partial government shutdown. TSA workers on the job without pay for more than a month, calling out sick and growing numbers. That's adding to travel woes due to long security lines. And another day of searing temperatures in store for western states. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. 2 people are in custody after fleeing a traffic stop and hitting a West Dallas police officer. Happened Monday night near 82nd and Greenfield, just south of State Fair Park. Police say during the traffic stop, the vehicle fled the scene, struck the officer. The officer was not injured. The fleeing car then crashed near 84th Street, just north of I-94. Authorities say the driver and passenger were arrested. No one else was hurt. More job cuts are coming to Harley-Davidson as the Milwaukee-based motorcycle company continues a year of cost reductions. It's not known how many employees will be impacted, but the Milwaukee Business Journal reports a Harley spokesperson confirmed the cuts and say they're coming via a reduction in force. It's also not known whether the job cuts will be for blue or white-collar positions, nor whether the cuts will focus on Harley's Wisconsin-based locations or its out-of-state facilities. Decision Wisconsin, early voting opening up today across the city of Milwaukee. Residents can now vote in person at 7 locations across the city until Sunday, April 5th. Most locations will be open by 10 a.m. each day, including on weekends. Voters who received an absentee ballot in the mail can also use the secure ballot drop boxes through the city to submit their ballot. The spring election is on April 7th. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow was up 137 points, sitting at 46,340. The NASDAQ off 78 at 21,870. And the S&P 500 back into the green, up about 5 points at 6,585. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic still dealing with some issues. This is 94 eastbound right at 35th Street in the Stadium interchange. Part of the 2 left lanes there are blocked. There was a crash. A vehicle was flipped on its side. It does look like they've got the vehicle flipped back over. There's a tow truck on the scene, so they're trying to get the accident clear there. But again, 2 left lanes are still blocked, so causing you to slow down a little bit because of that crash as well. Still at this time, Wisconsin 175, the ramp to get onto I-94, that is closed because of the crash. So still trying to clean up that scene. Other than that issue we have, rest of the system is looking good. As for your forecasts, we'll be partly cloudy as we move throughout our Tuesday. High getting up around 50. Tonight, then, mostly cloudy, a low down to 35. Partly cloudy conditions, a bit warmer tomorrow. We'll see highs in the low to mid-60s. Continuing to warm up then on Thursday. Cloudy, breezy conditions. Again, highs in the mid-60s. Could maybe see some showers late Thursday. But then we cool down as we head into Friday. We'll be mostly sunny, but a high of just 38. Right now, it's 42 degrees in Green Bay, sitting at 40 in Kenosha, and it's 40 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday can be a real challenge, right? Make it easier with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love easy, and I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a top choice award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Plus, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a choice steak, the twin lobster tails, the braised pork shank. How about ribs, pasta, seafood, even a big, huge, fresh salad? Any entree, your second dinner is free. Dessert and ice cream drinks, I love those. Also, buy one, get one free. Buy 2, get 2 free. Buy for the table. 4 desserts, get 4 free. Relax with a cocktail, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Old World Bar is elegant, 8 beautiful dining rooms. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Start your week with a free dinner at the award-winning Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Tables are open, serving from 4. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as third generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
All right. Thanks for the text today. Some of them are irritating me, but...
I also set up a keyword if you want more information about tonight.
Oh, there
if you
you
text
go.
BLUE to 855-616-1620, send you all the information for the event tonight at the Pfister, which is, we now know, is on the 23rd.
Yeah, well, I said
floor.
10th.
Much higher.
Yeah.
Way better view.
Maybe I stayed on the 10th
From
floor
5:30 to 7:30 tonight. Come have me make you a drink and say hi.
Yeah, and these are fun. I've been, like I said, a bartender. I've been a guest at them. It just sort of, you'll see a lot of people that maybe some you'll recognize from TV, like local people, locals. Sometimes mayors show up. You never know who's going to be there. Maybe Cavalier Johnson will make it, or County Executive David Crow. You never know who's going to be there. I'm not saying they're going to.
Explicitly invited them. I guess maybe I could.
Well, people know about it. And plus, it's one of the best causes you could have in the city of Milwaukee. So let's be honest about that. That was why my wife, Kathy, was so excited, because her mom and Kathy both donate to that organization.
Oh.
So that's the connection there.
So can I get you guys to buy a table for the June event?
We'll see about that. What's that price tag? Don't say it. Don't say it.
More than a cocktail.
All right. I don't know how much attention this got. It's sort of an interesting story. I think I did it one day when you were gone. I highlighted it. We're going to do it again because we got a couple things I want to get to. The governor has signed off on a change for Foodshare. Those people who use those benefits, which is a vital connection to food, sustainability, making sure that people have enough food on their table. But he linked something to that Republicans have been asking, conservatives have been asking for a long time, and that is a ban, essentially, on being able to use those benefits to purchase candy and, for lack of a better term, soda, soft drinks.
Well, as far as I understand, it had to include that in order to get access to like fully funding the program, because after the One Big Beautiful Bill, there was shifts as far as implications on access to it, how the state has to fund it. Like there was a lot more that happened to changing the Foodshare or SNAP program, that in order to qualify and not lose out on money, this had to be included.
So we grabbed a couple slips of audio, little slices of audio from State Senator Diane Hasselbein, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other side,
Minority Leader.
Yes, Minority Leader. Important to give that title. And then on the other side, in Assembly Rep Moses is the last name. Jazz, first name?
Clint
Moses. Let's hear from the senator first. A little bit of audio.
While I think it's a cause that we want people to eat healthy, I think we all agree that we all, including ourselves, should be eating healthy. Sometimes there aren't those alternatives. And I would rather have somebody go to bed with food in their stomach than go to bed hungry.
So that's one side. That is a position I've heard from other people that say, come on, you're being like, the heavy hand. Like, there's always concerns about what people eat. You don't have to be poor to eat poorly. Let's just put it that way. Now, on the other side, Representative Moses has this to say.
Not only are these people using the SNAP benefits, the taxpayer benefits, to buy this food, or to buy, I shouldn't even call it food, this junk food essentially, also we're paying for the health care costs of it as well.
Which is a fair point. Remember, though, the governor, who's a Democrat, signed off on this. Again, in a compromise with conservative Republicans who have the power. I'm curious where you fall on this. Should they be able to buy these?
Well, I feel bad for all the cashiers now who have to be the policeman over this.
Yeah. Well,
right? It's like someone else who's basically maybe making enough money to get by is now in charge of having the confrontations of, well, you can't get, because I'm sure there's a fair amount of people who don't know that this change is going to happen, who the first time that they go to try to buy something, that is setting up a confrontation for someone who did not ask for this, which I don't think is necessarily fair for all these grocers to have to be dealing with who can and cannot buy certain things and what they can buy. And I think it is also the conversation around food deserts. So if like you don't have a grocery store,
with all
but
the
you have a
options.
corner store that takes Foodshare benefits, and you go in and you try to buy some food, what in that store, what at a 7-Eleven is actually covered then?
Yeah. Now, do you buy the health argument, health care, that at some point these decisions, fiscal decisions, policy decisions, could shape the healthcare conversation in a positive way because people aren't consuming, I think the term that was used was junk food. You buy that?
I think we have bigger concerns with
We
our
always have bigger
with our
concerns.
healthcare system than the fact that people are spending what little money they already get on food share programs on junk food.
Do you disagree with the governor's decision to sign it?
No, because I think the trade-off was there, that it made more sense as far as...
It was tied to funding.
Yes.
Big numbers.
Yeah, and so
Millions
I
of
don't think...
dollars.
And I think now will be interesting to see. Like, I think it is... The tax credits that I know people are... I'm already can see what the text line's going to say. The tax credits that we give millionaires and billionaires and big companies, that like the write-offs that people get for their private jets, we don't have rules and regulations on what they can do with their tax benefits, that they don't have to pay their fair share. So why do we have rules on this? And like, that's the thing. It's like where there's so much regulation on poor people and so little on people who are getting away with not having to pay their fair share. So that's what I find frustrating about this. But it's also, maybe this will... the thing is, the bigger thing to me is the food deserts. It's like you're now taking away people's opportunities to get calories and not doing anything to make sure that there's better food closer to them for them to actually buy.
Which I promised my friend, Chef Michael Fecker, that we would bring him on at some point to talk about that because he's been an advocate for finding solutions to that food desert problem in this community. So that's an important topic. All right. This story has changed since I put it together this morning. So 3/27 is sort of this marker dates for travel and Congress. But the banner headlines that have been going across at least CNN and maybe Fox have been that there may be a potential deal on funding for TSA and DHS in the works today.
Oh, that'd be great.
Where did that come from? But I'll tell you the story anyway. So if
Trump changed his mind.
There's a lot to what you just said. I'm just going to let it simmer throughout the break. Kristen, that's why she's here, because she's that good. Quick break.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Eggland's Best. The only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is Bo from Ridgetop Exteriors. Your home should be the one place that you feel completely comfortable and safe, but old, drafty windows can steal that feeling. At Ridgetop Exteriors, we bring that peace of mind back. As Wisconsin's leading Pella Premier contractor, we install beautiful, secure windows and doors that can save you up to 40% on your energy bills. Get a home full of new Pella windows for as low as $198 a month. Learn more at ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors. Practical principles that make every dollar count. Small budget advertisers can't afford to waste one penny. It all has to go to work in the most effective and efficient way possible. Anderson Smith advertisers are setting themselves apart 24 hours a day, every day of the year. The power of the airwaves is real. You just have to know how to harness it. We'll get you deals you can't, and you'll get results that you won't without us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Don't buy ad packages. Buy into a plan, even if you don't use us to do it. Because unless you're willing to sell your product or service for a lot less than what it's worth, you're setting yourself up for almost guaranteed failure. Put an ad plan together and stick to it. Tell them what sets you apart and have consistent branding so it can work for you with a snowball effect rather than just trying to make a big splash. And if you need someone who can really make your dollars work hard for you, Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
It's almost here.
Terang, a fly ball to center. It is gone.
Baseball is back and almost within reach. Join us on WTMJ for coverage leading up to opening day. We'll be broadcasting live from American Family Field leading right up to the first pitch. Opening day on WTMJ is presented by Big Fish Contracting. We are the home of the Brewers all season long. WTMJ.
Spice up your workday at the original Botanas on 5th Street. Enjoy a flavorful and affordable lunch, including authentic Mexican favorites, seafood and vegetarian dishes, and fish fry every day. Enjoy a free cup of soup with every meal. Mi casa es su casa at Botanas.
Great thing about the news, Christian, is it changes rapidly, and we're reading you were reading during the break some reports that there may be a deal on some of this funding, TSA, DHS, ICE. So that's a positive development. What prompted me to want to do this story now is because there was this drop dead date. What is that date? Friday, 3/27, this Friday. Lawmakers have that as their last day of work for 2 weeks. They take what has typically been called the spring break, Easter break, probably more specifically. And that'll be the last they could actually do anything. So they've got basically today, Wednesday, Thursday, and part of Friday because they head off. But given what we're seeing, and it's different airport to airport. I was reading reports. Atlanta was bad this morning. Chicago was bad on occasion yesterday, 3 hours to go through security. I read a lot of people. I have friends who travel a lot still for work, and they've been saying, depends where you're at. One place, no problem. Other place, ridiculously long, like 3 hours to go through security. And I was talking to our friend Matt Smith, and he's got some travel, and he's like, man, if you're going to an airport and you have kids, it is a hassle to have to get there hours and hours ahead of time, especially if you have very young children. You know this. Every moment in an airport or an airplane can be, at the worst, a nightmare because it's just hard. And for all those people who love to beat up on moms and dads who have young children that are acting up, put yourself in their shoes for a second. That's not easy. You think they want to make everybody miserable in the airport or on a plane? They don't. So a little patience. That's why we have noise-canceling headphones that you can tune some of that out. So just invest in a pair of those if you're that bothered by it. But regardless, 3/27 is the date. That's when Congress goes home. Whether this happens or not, I hope it happens. Now, the kicker, which you brought to my attention, is apparently some of the SAVE Acts, or as Donald Trump says, the Save America Act, could be in this sort of deal. We don't know the specifics. I don't know the specifics.
Well, it would be in this deal. It sounds like that would get moved to reconciliation, which then would only need 50 votes.
Yes, which otherwise 60.
Yeah, so getting passed on its own was what they were running into the filibuster for. This is the Save America Act. But it sounds like they are going to move the ICE funding and the parts of the Save America Act to a reconciliation bill, and then pass this clean funding for DHS and the other parts.
And I think
other parts of DHS, including TSA.
I mean, whatever you think about Congress, they're not idiots all the time. They're probably hearing from their constituents that this is a nightmare. And whatever you think about the economy, the travel sector has been just lights out strong for quite a while, even in the midst of whatever economic struggles we have.
Well, it was also, we said this in the break, that Delta is suspending its special service desk for members of Congress until TSA is fully funded.
Yeah, good.
Delta says members of Congress will now be treated like all other flying customers.
Get your you know what in line.
So I'm saying this is what goes back to when there is any kind of government shutdown, the first people to lose their paychecks should be the voting members of Congress.
Yeah. Something has to happen because this separation policy that members of Congress have that gives them the best of everything and no rules apply has to stop. Making millionaires out of regular folks who all they're doing is basically getting paid to speak astronomical amounts for most people who aren't even bad or good speakers in the first place. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to read it because it was a text. CNN interviewed people in Atlanta yesterday who got in line at midnight and still missed their early morning flights. Can you imagine? You're worried about it, so you get there early and you still miss.
Oh, my God.
And as somebody who flew for a living for 20-plus years, you never really love airports. They become a way of life, and you deal with them. They're never your safe place or a place you want to spend extra time in. There might be a couple of – I'd give a nod to SFO, San Francisco.
It's a good airport.
Pretty cool airport. A lot of amenities and cool stuff, but that would be about as far as I would go on that. All right, we'll take our final break of Point Taken. She's Chris and I'm Steve. We'll wrap it up after this on 620 WTMJ.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
So many emails coming in, this trip will sell out. Vince Vitrano here, Vinny's European Vacation. Would love to have you join us in October, traveling to southern Italy and Sicily with WTMJ and Colette Vacations. Our tour begins in Palermo, Sicily, happens to be where my dad's family is from. He's coming on the trip as well. Agrigento, Sorrento, Amalfi Coast, Positano, Pompeii, and we end in Rome. Nothing you need to do except sign up and show up, as my team at Colette has thought of and taken care of everything. I'll send you a brochure with a breakdown of each day on the trip, all the sites, sign-up information, and even your all-in cost and options. Email me, vince@WTMJ.com. That's vince@WTMJ.com. We've got a special get-together here at the station coming up as well. You can meet me, talk with all the folks at Colette. That's coming up on March 24th.
Let me show you the world. Come away with me.
Vince@WTMJ.com, Southern Italy and Sicily this fall. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopco Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopco Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopco Optical or visit shopco.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Prizes,
Flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests. Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
If you're the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, you should be happy when other people want your coaches.
Okay. See the world from his perspective.
And the flip side of it is nobody wants any of your guys. The same thing with players going to free agency.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
If half your guys don't get picked up, you're probably like, well, this guy probably shouldn't have been in the league last year. We should want Jimmy Leonard to go be a head football coach.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
You should read some of that text you're just reading to me.
So we just had a really thoughtful text come in. This is going back to the conversation around dictating what you can and cannot buy with Foodshare benefits.
Candy, soft drinks.
Candy, soft drinks. Healthy, trying to encourage people to use them to buy healthy food. And my biggest concern was access to healthy food. And that's like physical access, but also how expensive it is. And so someone just texted in, it says, as somebody who has made a change of lifestyle and is trying to eat healthy, I understand healthy food is very expensive. I work 40 plus hours a week. I'm a truck driver. So yes, I do make well above minimum wage, but that does not mean I have disposable income. When we go to the grocery store, we will literally pick through the meat and look for something that's 17 cents cheaper. That's how bad it is. We pretty much have shopped the outer perimeter of the grocery store. No junk food, no soda, and we avoid the processed dry goods in the center. We leave with 2 small bags of groceries, and it's $100 for 2 people. This is a few days worth of food. So I get where it can be tough to shop with food stamps, but it's upsetting when you see somebody with 2 shopping carts and $600 with the grocery paid for with our taxes. Is that actually what's happening?
Well, that's what the texter said.
So anyways, I think that is emblematic of the fact that if you were trying to, like the texter said, shop on the outer perimeter of the grocery store, which is where the fresher food is kept, that adds up quickly.
Yeah, and many people have no opportunity because they don't have a grocery store, and it's getting worse by the day, which is somewhat surprising me as someone who worked in a grocery store for 9.5 years through my middle school or junior high at the time, high school, and even college, where prices weren't as prohibitively expensive now and it's just, we have to figure this stuff out. And whether it's this, sort of limiting what people can buy, or, this is a big statement for the end of the show, there is a lot of abuse in the system. Any system has that abuse. So think about that.
Think about that. All right. Well, we will be back here tomorrow. But before we go, I want to remind you that you can come to Thanalysis Live on Friday. I will be there. And you can right now buy one and get the other one for free. It is the biggest night in Wisconsin sports, and we don't want you or anyone else to miss out. So if you buy one ticket, ESPN Wisconsin is going to buy the other. So if you remember, Stephen A. Smith has been there in the past. Bobby Portis has been there. Giannis has been there. He'll probably be there again. No promises. But yes, Ric Flair is headlining. Does that mean anything? Mean anything to you, Steve?
Big wrestler guy, yeah.
And so TALiveshow.com is where you get tickets. And then you enter the code ESPNWIBOGO. That's ESPNWIBOGO. And when you check out, just again, the code ESPNWIBOGO. So join us March 27th at the Riverside Theater, TALiveshow.com, or maybe I'll see you tonight at Blue at the Fister.
I will be there.
Steve will be there. I'll be there.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. Sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. Joining me today, Jeff Salasinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. All right, 2026, off and running, Jeff. I would love some insight as to what has your attention related to the year ahead.